Say when.
Mhm. Copy.
Good.
Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community.
Yes.
Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton.
Rob Wacko, Jaron Wheeler, Scott Swiftwater Tony, and your host, Tim Grimes. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and thanks for tuning in. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at something. Now, I hope
Yeah,
we're on
we couldn't tell.
we are on the right YouTube, right?
Yes.
I hope
Okay.
so.
Right, well, you know how
I
it
hope
happens.
you only got one.
No, I have two, and that's what screws me
Oh.
up sometimes. Yeah, it's like, holy
Quit naming them the same thing.
they're not named
Prospector Radio. Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
like-
that's and the one's Tim Grimes. So it's just like, I don't know how I screw up sometimes, but I do. But I do. What's happening, fellas? It's Sunday. It's freaking cold. It's February 1st finally. Spring is
It's not cold where I'm at.
Spring is on its way. Shuddy.
What did we push? Almost 80 today?
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, it did push 80 today. Yes,
I think we pushed like 9. Scorcher.
Yeah, but you guys got, hey, Tim, remember though, you got the humidity.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about the humidity. Thank God for the humidity. It's cold. It's freaking cold. It's freaking cold. That's all I could say. And it's going to be cold still all week again. It's going to be only in the 20s. So no relief in sight yet for us here in the north. This is terrible. I hate winter. It just needs to be over quick, boys.
That's why I moved away.
Yeah, if I was saying the other day, if I could retire and could afford it in the winter, I would come and live in Arizona or something. I'd buy a camper and live in Arizona in the winter time and come back here in the summer. Yeah. If I could afford it, I would do it because this stuff's just ridiculous. And the older I get, the worse it gets. Yeah.
Dude, all you got to do is do your trip across out here, then go to an RV park and you pay less than what you do on your mortgage or rent.
Right. But still got to pay your bills when you're, you still got to pay your car payments and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. If you made enough when you retired that you could do that, which I can't.
Yeah, you dig gold.
It'd be nice. Or come down there and get a job in the winter.
There's plenty of them.
That's what I mean. There's jobs everywhere, right? No?
Yeah, nobody's missing any jobs in Phoenix. If you ain't got a job in Phoenix right now, you don't want a job.
No, that's the way it is with a lot of places,
Oh, yeah.
They just don't want jobs. Yeah. I'm just saying I just can't take this cold. But I'd be in Arizona or somewhere toasty warm, Nevada, somewhere. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. What about you, Rich? You freezing down there in Pennsylvania?
It's been running anywhere from 15 to like 7 degrees at night.
Yeah, it's been
during the day.
Did you get a lot of snow though last week?
Yeah, we got like between 5 and 8 inches in most
God,
areas.
why is it we got more than everybody? We got like 12 to 18.
Between 5 and 8 inches in most areas.
Right. We got 12 to 18. We got hammered. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, about 5 and 8.
I mean, everything's just still just so much snow on everything. It's just nuts. Is what it is. It's crazy.
We had some Thursday, but it basically melted as soon as it hit the ground.
And I'm used to you getting more than me. What's going on here?
I haven't shoveled this entire winter.
Really? Are you going to wait and get yours in like March?
I don't know. We need it.
when the rest of us are coming out of it and head into warmth, all of a sudden you're going to start.
Today.
How much?
Like 52 today.
Come on. I'd be happy with that. Oh, Racer said it was 23 degrees in Ocala, Florida. Well, that's freaking cold. I ain't going to Florida then. I'm heading west.
Yeah, it's still cold down in Florida too.
Right? Yeah, it's just crazy. This weather's just been a little nuts. My hands are even freezing right
Well,
now.
it covered it. You know what? It actually covered everybody. It went just
Oh, it
on
did.
the
That was a
top.
heck of a storm.
Yeah, it
Was
went
like
just
from
on the top of
Texas.
Arizona, and then went through New Mexico and everything,
Yeah,
and was clear up
Texas,
to
all the way
Montana.
down. That was a big old storm. It covered half of the country. I swear it.
Well,
It was
I don't know if did you guys see any of the videos that same storm that come from Russia, come across the water and hit us? They were jumping off of, like, I don't know, 20-story buildings and sliding down snow drifts. Whee!
what?
Yeah, they got
Nope.
that much snow in Russia. It was nuts.
They can keep it in Russia. That's over there. They can have it all.
I'm just saying that's the same. If it comes across the water,
That was the one we
know,
got. That storm. Yeah.
it was a good one. But we didn't get anything like they got.
That's crazy. Yeah. No, if we'd have got that, I'd have just hibernated, I could think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, your snowblower would have been useless. You ain't getting that out.
No, right. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy what it is.
You'd have to cut a tunnel through a snowdrift to get your car out. Beep beep.
I mean, the piles of snow at my work are huge. And running out of places to put snow. That's how much snow we got.
I could imagine.
I mean, it's bad. But like I said, February 1st, tomorrow's Mr. Ground Dirt Rat Day. So
he's not coming out. It's too cold.
Well, he's up there in Bridges part of the country.
I'm telling you, he said no. It's not happening.
Oh, they probably got little heat lamps for him, and
more than likely he's right.
They probably do. They probably got heat lamps set up for him to come out and catch him some heat.
The old Punxsutawney Phil.
What's his name? Punxsutawney?
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil.
I think I'm right.
So tomorrow is Groundhog Day. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Man, trust me. Me and Rob's got it going on tomorrow. Woo!
What are you guys doing for Groundhog Day?
We're still doing the high banking, but tomorrow it's going to be all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, until we can't dig anymore, and we're going to rush it because the water's starting to go lower. I know on my claim I still got water rippling. So I know it's still getting fed, but down the creek it's already went dry. So that's telling me, utilize the pools while I got a chance now, and we're going to be, I can't wait. We got our other cleanouts. We haven't even cleaned them up yet.
Oh, okay. You guys haven't gotten to that
but
yet.
I hope it looks. It's gonna. There ain't no hope in it. We know what comes out in the test mat.
Cool.
So if it looks like that in the box, it should be pretty freaking cool.
Good. That's good to hear too. Hopefully you guys kill it.
Yeah, and I'm in the new house.
That is cool. Also, very cool.
Second night. We stayed last night in the new house. Yeah, we brought the camper back. We brought the camper back and put it out front. Of course, it was right next door, but we had to move everything, disconnect everything, unplug the wiring, yada yada. Bring everything and unload the camper back in here.
Is Rob happy? Is he back in his camper?
No, Rob's going to stay right where he's at with our friend Lefty.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, already. Okay.
I mean, he's got heat, water, shower. Might as well stay where he's at.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I mean, he's got heat with if I plug in the camper, but he ain't got no bathroom or he ain't got no shower out there.
Right.
So
that's true.
if he's where he's at, he can stay there and keep up
cool.
on it.
Good. Well, good. Glad you guys are all squared back in. Speaking of squared back in, I need to hear these gold and silver prices. I ain't heard them in 2 weeks.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea what's happening in the
silver
world.
You don't know, then you are lost.
I am lost then.
Well, I am just saying right now, as of tonight, Gold's down 64 more dollars because it dropped 400 and something the other day.
Dang.
But it's at $4,826, but it
Now-
was at 5,486.
So it hit 5,000. Okay, that's what I need to know.
Oh, it went over 5,000.
It did go over 5. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Wow. Wow.
We got silver. Actually, it's in the green by $1.30, but it's only $86, which I already
that's
know.
okay.
Yeah, but it was at 108.
I know, but it was at 20 too for a while.
Wow.
So 86 is still pretty good. I'm not complaining.
Right.
100
Well,
and
we got
some's better.
Yeah, we got platinum went down $65 at 2,134. Palladium actually went down $25 at 1,714. And imagine this, rhodium says $12,000, and it's unch, which
That
I know
doesn't even make sense.
I know it's baloney because it was 8 something and now it's 12. So
Yeah, it don't
somebody's
even
on.
make sense.
Well, evidently it didn't trade today.
Yeah, it just don't even make sense. It moves and moves. And it
Actually,
never...
right here, since I'm looking at this, Tim, actually the numbers are moving, so they are trading.
Right, but they'll say it hasn't moved.
Yeah, the market opened 42 minutes ago.
I was going to say now we're down $59, so that's going down.
All right, so as long as gold and silver keeps going up, we're happy.
Oh yeah, look at it. Keep it right there. Keep it right there.
That's right. I was glad it made it over 5. I'm glad to see silver made it over 100.
And Bitcoin didn't survive the plummet either. It's 77.
Oh, it did.
78,000.
It took a pretty big hit, right?
Yeah, everything pretty much did.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
A smart person would have waited till as soon as it broke 5,000. Whoever you buy pay dirt off of, or whoever you could find, go buy now. That way, there's stuff that they already packaged. They would have to send to you. You get more.
Oh, I'm just saying. Over 5. Phew.
Yeah.
That's just good action right there. Speaking of good action, did you guys watch Gold Rush?
Yes.
Not too exciting this week, was it, Jaron?
No, it's not a lot going on too much.
No, it didn't seem like it. Really didn't seem like a whole heck of a lot. It was just like, I mean, really, it did.
Me and Rob had a community, what do you call it? A community function to go to.
Oh, so you guys didn't catch it. You have to catch it on a rerun.
Rob did a little bit.
So you got some clean out numbers for me?
I do. So Parker on Roxanne, 49.6.
49?
That's it?
Yeah, I can't remember what happened there, if they moved it or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
And then Dominion cut Bob 147. That's not Parker numbers either.
Right.
Well, I'll take it.
Lucifer and Big Red combined 230. That's, 230 is like one clean out usually. So he was a little
so that was still
confused.
almost 4 ounces, or is it 4?
Yeah, but
400 ounces.
Did they have a lot of breakdowns?
400 something. No, they really didn't. They didn't show it anyway.
Well, then
one rock jam, I think they showed, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the dirt was going through the thing, so
yeah,
I don't know. You know what they say? Good dirt goes to bad dirt, goes back to good dirt, goes back to bad, stays bad. So
that brings them up to 5,300 for total so far.
Sure. Okay. What about the beats? The beats.
Sluice a lot, 319.6. Find a lot, 339.6.
Okay.
And then Rick, he showed. Wait, is this the wrong one?
That's the wrong one. That's last week.
I was like, that's not right.
Right.
Because I was like, wait, Rick found 1 ounce.
Right. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So Rick found 1 ounce. Okay, we could go back to Kevin beats.
Go back.
Because I was like, wait, Tony didn't even have a clean out. So Kevin had 250 0.24
for Kevin. Right.
Yeah. Parks
Okay.
and Roxanne 150.4.
Right.
Lucifer and Big Red 251.55. That's better.
Right.
Because the week before they were just moving it there. So
Sure.
So Bob 103.7.
2, 3, 4. So yeah, over 500 ounces for Parker. Right. Okay. And Rick with this big 1 ounce score. And
That's it.
And that was it. Yeah. It was because it was Kevin, Parker, Rick week. Yeah. Yeah. Now I know you guys are gonna laugh, but I'm telling you, Oak Island, they're like a week away from pulling out the treasure.
Who?
Oak Island.
Who's Oak Island?
Oak Island, man, they're about a week away from pulling out the treasure.
Oh,
They're
you
gonna-
mean that washed up stick finder? Never mind.
Rich, what are you laughing at? I'm serious.
Because he knows you're nuts too.
There's a big boulder and there's something underneath it is bright gold. It's the treasure.
It's a gold coin in a pirate's. It's a gold coin in a pirate's pocket where a rock landed on it.
It might be, but that's a treasure. It's like the treasure of One-Eyed Willie when the rock comes falling.
You're killing me. You're
telling
killing
you, it's coming next week or the week after. They're gonna score. Finally, I see it coming. And that's about all the treasure goodness that was floating around this week.
All right. Wait, what about that special guest?
Oh,
let me get him the link.
We do have a special guest tonight.
Ready to go.
Kevin Singel, I believe is how it's pronounced, the author of Finding Gold in Colorado, is going to be joining us here in one moment. So let's just find out a little bit about Kevin. Yeah, interesting. Oak Island, finding a treasure. I'm gonna do a treasure dance when they find it.
or just finding gold. That's treasure too.
We're gonna find it. It's under that big boulder.
Okay, Kevin, I sent the link to your email. Check again in your spam just in case it went there again.
Yeah. Yeah, that big boulder was placed there. See? So why would you place it? Why would you place a big monster boulder
there? He is.
Just saying.
So that way everybody gets faked out.
Get back to that later. Hey, Kevin.
Howdy.
How are you?
What's up? What's up?
Thank you. And yourselves?
Doing good.
I've been listening, so I know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So how's things down there in Colorado? Snowy, cold? What's happening?
Well, I live up in the mountains, so it's snowy and cold, but it's supposed to be.
Oh, right. True. If you're in the mountains, you asked for it.
Yeah.
Down here, I didn't ask for it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So, man.
8,740 feet. So it's supposed to be.
Does it snow there all year?
Yeah. For context, for one of you guys lives in Utah, at least, right?
Jaron does. Yeah.
Jaron does. So the top of Snow Basin Ski Resort, which is just north of the city, is lower than my house. The top of the resort.
Jaron, you familiar with that then?
He's on mute.
He must be, yeah.
He's on mute with
there he is.
Posting links and all that. Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with it.
So does it snow up there all year round then where you're at?
No, but we do get snowstorms in every month of the year.
Holy cow.
It just won't last, right? I mean, we usually have highs in the 70s in the summertime, but once in a while, the temperature will drop into the 50s and we'll get a snowstorm.
Wow, that would be rough.
It's not great.
But if you love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's beautiful hiking weather. It's great prospecting weather for a huge chunk of the year.
Right.
Just like Utah, we get a lot of sunshine.
That's cool.
Right? So it's awesome. I love it.
That's good. Well,
I've dug in snow water. It's not fun.
Yeah. Well, this point, I have a mining claim that's about a 10 or 15 minute drive from my house.
Okay.
And so you can imagine what that means. It's at elevation too.
Right.
And I have dug there every month of the year around the calendar.
Wow.
It depends on the year. You know, some years things get so cold for so long that the river pretty well freezes over, but other years the water's really low and it's not frozen all the way across. So you bust some ice and you get into stuff that you can't get into during, you know, the bulk of the year. We've gotten some nice big fat flakes off of that claim in, you know, January and February and March, because you can get behind these, you know, giant rocks that you just can't access most of the time safely.
Right.
But what about July?
The water's too high in July. See, we're downstream from a dam. And so in the summertime, they have to provide a certain amount of water to the farmers and ranchers downstream all the time, right? So it's, I mean, there's a season when it floods in the spring when everything's melting, but through most of the summer, they're putting out a certain amount of water out of the dam because they have an obligation to do so. And so we don't get the really low water until kind of the end of the agriculture season.
Right.
So you get into September and they go down to minimum flows to not kill the fish, right?
Right.
At that point, you can walk across the river. You can get to all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to ask, so how long have you been prospecting?
Well, it depends how you measure it. The official answer would be since 1989.
89. Okay. And what got you started in it?
Oh, let me show you. Hang on a second.
All right. We like show and tell.
I want just a second, but I'm not going far because I'm looking for, here it is. Excellent. All right. Let's see here. National Geographic magazine, right? This is August 1969. Okay. So you got to imagine me as a kid curled up on the couch with my dad after dinner and my little brother, who at that point would have been 4. And Dad's reading to us from National Geographic magazine. And we're looking at the pictures together and we're talking about stuff. And there's an article in there. Let me find the first page of it so I can show you. There's an article about Colorado in there, but it's not just about Colorado. The headline is The Rockies Pot of Gold. And it's part of the story is about the aspens changing color. You guys from Utah know about that. But part of it is about the U.S. Mint making coins, and part of it is about mining stuff.
Okay.
So you imagine this little kid who's growing up in Michigan, and his dad reads him this story, and the next day I went out in the front yard and I dug me a mine.
Oh, so you're not originally from Colorado. You were Michigan. You were from up north here.
Yeah. I grew up in Michigan. My wife and I quit our jobs and moved out to Colorado as soon as we had enough money to pay for the first few months of rent. And we figured it out.
And that's what lit that fire under you when you were a boy.
Yeah. So we moved out in the spring of '89, like in May. And within the first couple of weeks, we're doing a drive up to one of the old mining areas and have one of these places where you pay $10 and they teach you to gold pan, and you can pan out a bucket of dirt that they dug out of the hillside.
Right.
So, of course, we stopped. My very patient wife ended up spending 3 hours with me there. And I had my first wild gold in the vial, and I had my first pans because I bought a couple of pans from the guy.
Sure.
I still have those pans 30, 40. How many years later is that? Oh, 35 years later. Yeah.
Nice.
The sad part was, of course, as many of us have experienced, if you leave a glass vial with gold and water in it out in your garage over the winter, what will happen?
That's why you always leave them in your gold pan.
Yeah. Well, I did. This is the good news. So I left the vial in the gold pan over the winter in the garage. The vial breaks. And then when we're cleaning the garage in the spring, the gold pan gets knocked off the shelf. And
my
gosh. Yeah. And the flakes were lost.
Oh,
you know,
your first gold was lost.
Yeah.
No, you got to get down on the floor with a paintbrush and scoop all that stuff up.
I'm not going to name any names, but I was on the other side of the garage doing other things at that moment, carrying heavy things around, and I wasn't the one doing the sweeping.
So yeah, it just wound up out in a driveway or something.
It did. So I made up for that along the way. I found lots of gold, so it's all good, right?
Right.
My wife and kids have been very supportive over the years of my passion, so it's all to the good.
Oh yeah, it's cool. And do they enjoy doing it with you, or do they just go on, Dad, you're on your own?
They pretty much say, go on, Dad, you're on your own. I have made rings with a lot of my gold. I'm going to try.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So my son and his wife both have wedding bands that are made from what I call family gold. And I call that because the requirement all the way along is if you want rings made with family gold, you have to contribute.
Sure.
So the ring you hand to the other person includes gold you dug.
Right.
Right. And so that kind of romantic notion has led to this whole series of, I have a nephew and now his wife who I've been prospecting with them for 10 or 15 years, right? Since they were young teenagers. And my son has prospected with me off and on. I mean, he's married and he's a high school teacher these days. He's a little busy for these things.
Sure.
Even my wife has done a little bit of digging. And so there's gold from all of them. But even more than that, when I told my folks about this idea, my mom and dad had gone to Alaska back in 2000. And, you do one of these tourist things. You bring back some big fat flakes from one of the operations up there. And she gave it to me and she said, I don't know what to do with this gold. And I said, I do, Mom. I'm going to put it into rings for family members. Right. And then my wife's family, her grandfather was a dentist. And back in those days, dentists made their own crowns. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So when he passed away, he left a little bit of gold behind.
Oh, wow.
The kind you paid $35 for?
Yeah.
I heard you guys talking about the price of gold these days. So I have still several grams of gold from Grandpa McFarland on my wife's side that he paid $35 for.
Wow.
Right?
That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, some of Grandpa McFarland's gold has gone in as well. And then the people that married into the family, we've told this story to them and said, like if you're here in Colorado, then you got to come dig with. Right. And so that's fine. But they tell their family about it. And so like my daughter-in-law told her mom, and her mom was like, oh, I have this solid gold logo pin from a company that I worked for. After like 20 years, they would give you this pin about big with the company logo.
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, she can contribute that. That sounds great.
Gold's gold.
It's not going to be solid gold.
No.
Piece of copper that's gold to make it look cool. That doesn't make any sense. So what I did when she gave it to me is I cut it up in pieces and I threw it in some hydrochloric acid, pool acid.
Right.
And I left it set for a week and I thought, well, the gold will sort of peel off because the acid will eat the regular metal. I come back a week later, it's solid gold.
Oh, wow. So she was right.
Now, it was only like 10 karat or 12 karat. It wasn't high karat gold, but still, was over a gram of actual gold in there.
I'll be darned. But
nice contribution to the pile to make the ring.
Yeah. Now, who makes the rings? You got to make them?
I don't make them. I have had various goldsmiths make them.
Oh, okay. That's still cool, though.
Yeah, no, it is. And two of the three guys I've worked with as goldsmiths were also gold prospectors, which made life a lot easier.
Yeah.
The guy who wasn't a gold prospector wouldn't take a vial full of fines and such.
Really?
I had to melt it down and give him a solid lump. He's like, I don't know how to work with all that dust. That's what I sweep up and throw in the electroplated.
And he calls himself a jeweler?
Yeah, no, it's not a prospector. The other guys were.
Still, it's gold.
It is absolutely, yeah.
If you're a jeweler, you should know how to do that,
right? I would think. I mean,
you would think. I don't know. He just was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. You got to make it into a lump, which is not a problem. I had a friend with an oxyacetylene torch, and so we threw it in an appropriate container and threw some borax and some silica sand in there and heated it all up, melted it down, and of course pulled a little bit of impurities out as well. So it's all good.
Right. But that's a cool tradition. I mean, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
And at this point, and counting one ring that's mine, we're at 7 rings.
Wow, you guys are doing really good.
If you break into my house to steal my gold, you're not getting much.
There ain't nothing there. It's all gone. It's on people's fingers.
Here's how I do sell gold, right? Like, I have a guy that I have to throw a box in the mail tomorrow that wanted a gram of gold to practice panning and stuff like that. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. What sizes do you want?
Oh, that's cool too, though. Hey, that's so. What made you decide to start writing a book about it?
Oh man. Let me think about it. I had a full-time job until early 2016. And a few years before that, one of my buddies that I would help do volunteer stuff with and whatnot, we would volunteer with fourth graders. In Colorado, they teach Colorado history to fourth graders, right?
Right.
And so I kind of took it on myself to start learning more history and learning more about, the law, about where you can dig and whatnot. And so I could talk to the kids about it, and I could talk to new prospectors that I met and stuff like that. One of my buddies wants to join in the YouTube thingy. Hang on just a second.
Sure.
Because he's got questions. And I said, well, rather than you and me talk, because I was so busy today, why don't you join the call at some point? And then they'll let you ask your questions on the call, and that'll be cool. Right?
Yeah.
So let me just get back to the YouTube email here and copy the link and send it.
Is he in the YouTube chat?
Well, he's not, but he doesn't know how to get to it, right? So I'm
okay.
Send him the link and make his life easy here.
It always helps.
Yeah. So anyway, this buddy that I was volunteering with, at one point he said, you should write a book about where you can go and where it's legal. Because my wife is she had worked in state and local government, and she's an expert in which layers of government own and manage which land, right? We all know about BLM versus Forest Service and, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of other layers to it. And an awful lot of the gold-bearing land here in Colorado is not BLM or Forest Service, because we tended to build a town where we found good gold, right?
Right.
Just like Park City in Utah, here we'd have Breckenridge, or we'd have Silverton, or we'd have Telluride. And those towns end up owning a lot of the land after it's been abandoned by the miners. It's private land at that point, right? Because the miners did the paperwork back in the day. So when they walk away from it, if nobody wants it in, let's say, the 50s or 60s, they'd stop paying the property taxes. It goes back to the county. The county goes to the city and says, hey, this piece of property is in or on the boundary of your city. Do you want it for a park? Right? And the city says, sure, that sounds great.
Right.
Which means they now own this chunk of river, because the way land exists out here, which is confusing for some people back east, it's often true that your property is, the land on one side of the river and the riverbed and the land on the other side. Because you just you just own a big square, right? Because you had a ranch back in the day, or you filed a patent and it was just this quarter section or whatever. Right. So it's very common for riverbed to be private property, which in this case means it becomes part of the city park. So anyway, I had all this knowledge about things like that. And my buddy's like, oh, you should write a book. And at the same time, my wife is a professional photographer. I should say sort of semi-pro. She's done other stuff too. But I decided to not really write a book, but start gathering information about where I could go digging when she wanted to go to some part of the state to take pictures. Right. Because she was into landscape photography at the time. So I start building this Word document that's sorted by county. The books, if you look at them, you'll notice they're not sorted by county, because gold doesn't care what county it's in. Right. The books are sorted by waterway. Right. So it's this river, wherever it goes, is in one chapter, because you're driving along a road that parallels the river inevitably. Right. So that kind of sense. But anyway, I started this Word document. I'm gathering this stuff. My buddy's giving me a ribbing about how I should write a book. And so after I retired, I thought, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to re-swizzle this Word document into something that makes sense to other people, not just me. And I'm going to write a guidebook. And so this is at this point, early 2016. Now the book came out in May of 2018. Okay. When I started writing, my thought was, I'm retired now. I'm going to take, 6 or 8, maybe 10 years to write this book. This is just going to be a fun hobby, a thing I do along the way. And, if I'm lucky, I'll find 100 dig sites around Colorado. And, if I'm lucky, I'll sell 1,000 copies of the book. Right. Well, a few months into it, my wife was like, wait a minute, people need this. You need to get this done. Because people out there that don't know where they can go, and they get in trouble, and they get bad vibes for all us prospectors because they get in trouble. Right. The good stuff, and where people can go. So you need to get this book out. Let's get moving. So she lit a fire under me, and basically in 2 years, I got the book cranked out.
Oh, very good.
It meant we took like 3-week-long travel trailer trips to different parts of the state to do the research.
Right.
And one of the funny things about that is it means, I mean, if you do that much research, you're taking notes like crazy as you go. But like I would hit, let's say, between a half a dozen and 20 different dig sites in one day.
Wow.
Right. Now, if you get to a dig site and your first 3 gold pans have gold in them, and you got a whole bunch more on your to-do list, what do?
I'm probably going to stick around there for a while.
You don't get to. I'd like to. On one of those trips, it was one time when I said to my wife, we're staying for an extra day, dig here.
Yeah.
And it was one of those half gram in a few hours kind of places.
Oh, nice.
I was like, we're staying here. But mostly I'd get 2 or 3 pans. I'd see gold. And, I had kind of this checklist. Are there any surprises at the site? Like, is it dangerous for some reason?
Right.
Like, there's a cliff to get to the water.
Okay.
Maybe not put that in the book, right? Or there's signage that surprises me that has rules that mean we can't do what we want to do, right? Like maybe there's one.
Which sucks.
Sorry? Well, it sucks.
I said which sucks.
It sucks, but like there's one site that has a really rare endangered barbless cactus.
Okay.
And there's a whole area there that's gold bearing that we're not allowed to go on. Like nobody can go there at all because the cactus is so fragile and everything that they just shut down. So, whatever. But anyway, the point is that I'd go to these sites, I'd find a little bit of gold and I'd walk away. And people later would be like, well, where's the best gold on the XYZ river? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Right.
What I can tell you is I found gold at all the sites in the book, but there's 9 sites. Which one has the best gold and which part of that site has the best gold? Don't know. P.S. 2 of those sites are over half a mile of contiguous river. How would I know where the best?
Yeah, right. You did a couple of test pans.
Right, exactly. So similarly, people will be like, well, where should I dig at XYZ site? I'm like, well, do you want to be a prospector or a day laborer?
Okay.
The day laborer is somebody who digs a hole where you tell them to, right?
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
I grew up in the plumbing industry, so as a teenager, I dug a lot of holes where the plumber said, "You dig from here to here." I'm like, right. So, do you want to be a day laborer or a prospector? And they're like, well, I want to be a gold prospector. Okay, then go figure out where in those 3.5 miles or 3.5 yards, whatever the size of the spot is, you go figure out where the gold is.
Right. Right.
So, anyway, what it led to was actually 2 books. We got this one, which I talked about with you guys years ago when it first came out.
Find it going, right? Okay.
And has sold more than 10,000 copies of this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then this one came out just a couple years ago, The Wandering Prospector.
Okay.
What basically happened here is this one, the first one, covers like 18 chapters that are all the places there was a gold rush in Colorado. All the towns that were started. They discovered gold in this river. They figure it all out and, build a town and do the whole thing.
Sure.
And that book is almost 500 pages.
Wow.
Right. The original goal was, it'd be awesome if I could get 100 dig sites. It's got 186 in it. Right. And it's a monster of a book. So, if a book gets too big, it gets too expensive to make it.
I bet. Yeah.
Some things you can't do with books that are over a certain size. The publishers have physical limitations, right?
Uh-huh.
So and that one had a deadline, right? We decided it's coming out by by May of 2018. So at some point I had to be done, right?
Sure.
So in the ensuing years, people would kind of give me crap about, hey, you didn't do anything to cover the Trinidad area of Colorado or the Fort Collins area or the Aspen area, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but those towns weren't created by gold rush booms.
Okay.
So they didn't count for the first book.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, but I live here and I know there's gold here and it's legal. Or, my cousin's going to visit that place and I thought you'd know where they could go.
Uh-huh.
And that's how this one came out.
Oh, okay.
So this one's got like 5 chapters in the back of the book that are all new. And I'm embarrassed to say at least 2 of those 5 chapters have darn good gold.
Really?
Yeah, the kind of places that I go back to.
Yeah, those are the good places.
Yeah. One of them, my wife and I spent a week in this one area at a campground, and the campground was right on the gold-bearing creek, and in fact, a little subsidiary stream that was also gold-bearing, and I found gold in both of them. And we're camping there, so we'd go for an excursion and sample some spots, or go for an excursion someplace you wanted to take pictures, and then we'd be back at the campsite. So a couple times I set up a sluice in the main creek and just ran it for a couple hours, and I was getting little pickers, which is, as y'all know, that's not a small thing. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So I was like, this is really cool. I like this spot. We should camp here more often. Right?
Yes.
As a result, right? Yeah. So, in fact, it's also one of the few places in Colorado we can actually get on real bedrock and clean out, crap between the rock layers. And, the whole time you're hoping for a real picker.
Yeah, that would be real nice. Yeah, to be able to do that.
There's no doubt about it. So that's in the new book. The new book also has new content for each of the areas that was in the first, because there were always a few sites that, when I was on deadline, that my wife came up with for May of 2018, there were some sites that I couldn't get a confirmation that they were legal.
Right.
Because if you got like a small town somewhere, the Parks and Rec department doesn't necessarily have a lot of rules, but you still want to ask them if you're going to put it in a book. Hey, is this cool if I use your park to go dig it in the river? And so I just didn't know. So I left some things out. And then over the next 5 years between the first book and the second book, I had time to track it down.
Okay.
Like one of my classics was, there's a little bit of gold in the Roaring Fork and the Frying Pan Rivers, which is near Aspen. And you know where Aspen is, right? The ski resort. Sure. Right. So I finally got on the phone with the head of Parks and Rec for the town of Aspen. And I'm thinking, those people are fancy, right? This is the land of 5 and 10 million.
Yeah.
I thought, there's no way they're going to say yes. And she was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Absolutely. 5 parks that are on the river, so make sure you try them all. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I will. Boom.
I'm putting that in my book.
Exactly. Yeah. So, the funny part is, even as I finished this book, there were probably 30 or 40 sites that I still haven't pinned down.
Oh, wow.
And guys are like, you going to write another book? Not right now. Thank you. I'm too busy. I'm prospecting. I'm digging. I'm mining on my claims. So leave me alone.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not giving the X on the spot. You're just giving the where.
Yes. Right. What I say is, here, let me randomly open one and I'll read you a sentence from it to kind of make the point. And so there's a section on each dig site. There's a paragraph that says boundaries. Upstream access starts west of the formal campground at GPS coordinates and continues past the campground downstream to another GPS coordinate. So you know what your boundaries are.
Right.
And everything in between it, you're good to go. Now, do I tell you what to do? No. Now, what I do have is I'll have gold finding tips. Like one of them says, avoid areas just above active beaver dams. A lot of sediment builds up in these areas, making prospecting difficult. That's the hint for one of them.
Right.
Now, this book, I didn't go to every site because part of my idea is the first book, if you're a new prospector, you buy that one. If you're a more experienced person, then maybe you want them both. Right. So some of the sites in the second book, my gold finding tips doesn't say something about beaver dams. It says the following. I haven't explored this spot, but the river has some nice inside bends to sample here. I've also heard good things from locals.
Okay.
In other words, you walk by.
Well, I haven't had a chance to go there.
Right.
I mean, there's a whole chapter in this book that I've never touched a single one of the sites. But
no, I like how
right.
I like how you wrote it, because you're not telling people where to dig. You're just saying, hey, I did a couple of samples here and I found gold.
Yes.
Between this site and this site, there you go.
Yeah, there's gold here. There is gold here. That's
right. And so the second book has 270 dig sites in it. You add the two books together, you got over 450 places in Colorado that are public access, and almost all of them are absolutely free.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. That would be. That'd be a great book to have for every state.
Yeah. Now for Utah, you've also got, and I have it around here somewhere. You've got a book, right? Do you guys know about this one? I bet.
Alan.
Yeah,
Chenworth or something.
Alan Chenworth's book, exactly. This is good stuff, and I bought his book right before I started working on mine, and so his was to some extent an inspiration for me, although my format's completely different as it turned out. And Alan's book includes spots that are claimable.
Oh, okay.
Before you go, you have to go check and see where are there claims around there. My book does not include any places that are claimable. So they're public access. They're probably free. There's a couple that you have to buy, like a state pass, to go to a whole bunch of the sites on the Arkansas River. But they're unclaimable, public access, probably free. And, good times to be had.
Nice. Yeah. And there's gold there.
There's gold there. Exactly. Now, some of them you're limited to pans or pans and sluices. Others allow electric pumps, but not gas power, so you get some of those kind of nuances, of course.
Right.
For the most part, the further out in the boonies you are, the less restrictions there are.
Sure. And does it tell you that in your book?
It does, of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
Panning only, panning right, sluice. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's making it easy for folks to get out there.
It does.
The result of that is that I've sold thousands of books at this point. I'm selling almost 2,000 books a year now that I have 2 books out.
Right.
Which is super exciting to me. And I've had people in Germany and Sweden and the UK buy copies.
Really?
Really amazing. And one guy from Belgium, I actually got to meet him when he was down in Denver and go digging together.
So they travel up that way.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, it's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't think anybody from them places would be buying it. It's like,
They have gold in Europe to dig too. I've been prospecting in Portugal, for example. Found a little bit in a sort of a beach deposit. Not like, fortunately, but that's a whole story. People have asked me about writing books for other states, and I'm like, no.
Right. That's why I said it would be a great book to have for every state.
It would. But the problem with doing that, there's a guy who's done some of that, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to disparage him directly, but he writes on contract. So he'll spend 5 or 6 weeks in a state, just kind of barnstorm through the place and write a book, and he sells them to Falcon Guides. So he doesn't own the book. He writes and then sells Falcon the manuscript and walks away.
Okay. Gotcha.
And unfortunately, if you spend 6 weeks in a state, you cannot do a good job.
I was going to say, it'd take you a lifetime to do every state. Yeah.
Yeah. In real life, for me, it took, well, I don't even know how many days. I mean, it took the whole summer of 2016, the whole summer of 2017, and a bunch of non-summer, like all of the fall and all of the spring of fall of 2017 and the spring of 2018 to get the first book done.
Right.
And the second book really took 4 years.
Right. So just imagine if you tried to do every state, it would, it'd
be nuts.
It would take you years.
There's 19 states where you can file a claim. So if you took 4 years times 19 states, that's a whole lifetime for sure.
That's what I mean.
Right. Well, my dad read me this when I was 6. So, if I'd started then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What I have said, and I'll say it here too, is if there's somebody who lives in a state other than Colorado and wants to write a book like I wrote, I would be more than happy to mentor them. Give them
that's cool.
Approach it. I can teach you how to figure out where the unclaimable lands are that might be worth digging.
Right.
Teach you the actual technical process of publishing a book without spending any money, because you don't have to pay somebody to do this, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the cool part is the printer that I use, which has now been bought by Amazon, so whatever. It's all print on demand though, so you don't have to buy 1,000 books to start.
Oh.
Somebody wants one book, they print one book and
right.
Book. If I want 50 books so I can go to some bookstores and show it to them, or prospecting shops, they'll mail me a box of 50 books, fresh printed.
Oh, well, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. The other neat thing about that is it also means that you never have to rebuy my book because hang on a second. My buddy says he can't figure out how to post a question. Can I send him the link to actually jump in and we can talk about his question because it's about mining claims?
Yeah, if he has a question, we'll let him jump in here.
All right, thank you. All right, let me get to the email that you sent. Copy link and send it to him.
Is your book on audio or just paperback or ebook?
It's not on audio because it would be such a pain in the ass to try to figure out what was happening, right? Because it's not like telling a story, you know? I mean, the first book does have some storytelling about the history, the origin story of each of these gold rush towns. I tell, you know, so what year and who was the person who discovered the first gold there, and how did things unfold from that point of view.
No,
what about there's an ebook version of them. So if you download the free Kindle app, you can buy the book. And it's kind of a cool thing. The physical book costs $26, but if you buy the digital version, it's so cheap to make that I sell it for $9.99.
Oh, okay. So it is available for Kindle and all that stuff.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
And much more affordable. You can also ask your library to get it. Several libraries here in Colorado, of course, carry the book. But even if they don't, like, let's say you were in a Salt Lake City library or you're in Grand Junction on the west side of Colorado, they can request it for interlibrary loan, or they can just go buy a copy.
Right. Yeah. You would think they'd all have it.
Well, yeah, you would, right?
I'm just saying. Yeah. You would think they would.
Some of the big library districts around Denver and whatnot have 5 and 7 copies each.
I would think there. Yeah, they should. Every library there would have it.
Yeah, what I was saying about version management is so because they're printed on demand, it means I can update, like if I find a typo in a GPS coordinate or something important, I can update the book anytime. And then everybody from that point in time onward, they get the new corrected version.
Right.
And on my website, I put all the corrections. So on the website, I'll say, if you bought your book for February 1st, 2026, then you need to put these changes in. Or if you bought it, how did that work? Yeah, if you bought it before this date, here's the changes that you need to do.
Okay.
If you bought it before this other date, maybe there's more changes because it's an older copy, you know.
Right.
And you can look in the books on the back, on the very back page, and has, because it doesn't actually matter which date you bought it, does it? It has here, check this out. Can you guys read this part?
Oh, here, let me make it full screen. That always helps.
Well, I'll just read it to you. What it says is made in the USA, Moni, Illinois, 28 April 2024. So any modifications that I did after that date, you're going to want to get out your pencil and go make those corrections. And every winter, I haven't done it yet, but every winter I'll publish the changes I make to the book so that you can go in and modify your book and you never have to buy another copy. Because
that's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
I'm not here to take all your money. I'm here to help you have an amazing adventure.
I was going to say a lot of people wouldn't go through that effort, you know.
Well, that's why, you know,
right.
This is a passion for me, and you know that has turned out so amazingly well that I'm just as generous as I can possibly be.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because most authors would be like, it is what it is. Buy the new revised version or something.
Right, yeah. And our friend Alan Chenworth actually did do that for what it's worth. And in fact, I have an article on my website saying you should buy his book if you're ever in Colorado. But I say, be careful to get the second edition. The first edition is like this part right here.
Okay.
Not the whole thing.
Not the whole book. Right? Okay, see?
Yeah. So
just saying.
Yeah, just saying is exactly right. Yeah. Now that said, I've been to, let me think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 sites out of his 48 and found gold at all of them. So he knows what he's doing, you know.
Right. That's the Utah one.
Yeah. And he was kind enough to spend about an hour on the phone with me when I started working on my book, talking through how he had done his research and what his printing process was and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. He did print like 1,000 copies. So then it was him to put them in the back of his truck and drive around delivering them places.
Sure.
Right? I'm like, there's a prospecting shop that's about I don't know, an hour and 45 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Another one's about 4 hours from my house and still in Colorado. And when they need new books, they just order 20 copies and a box shows up.
Right.
Straight from the printer to them.
That's cool. So you could get it on Amazon, I'm sure, right?
Yes. Yeah. If you that's one nice thing about my name. You were not sure how to say Singel, and it is
right. I wasn't positive.
You go on Amazon and you type in Kevin Singel and you spell it correctly, Singel.
Uh-huh.
My stuff pops right up because there are no other singles.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
See? Yeah. And it's available on Amazon. Next day delivery for you Prime members.
Like that. Yeah.
Next day delivery.
You have it tomorrow.
You never believe that.
Buy it now.
We don't even bother to have Prime because they can't get anything to us that fast.
Right. In that case.
Yeah.
And by the way, Gold Prospector Space is not saying you will actually get next day delivery. Please check your Amazon.
Definitely not.
That's right. Disclaimer is as appropriate, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, definitely not.
So now, Kevin, in our brief phone call the other night, you mentioned some good news you've had that you just got promoted to.
Yeah. No, that's right. So I spent the last 3 years as the vice president of the Gold Prospectors of the Rockies Club. Okay. And last November, I got elected to be the president for 2026.
Oh, very cool. Congrats.
All the more busy, but that's all good too.
Yeah, more things on your plate, right?
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no complaints.
It's prospecting related, so no complaints.
And I don't have a job, so some of the people in the club do, and I can be the one who chases down speakers and plans outings and stuff like that too. Some of the other board members help, of course.
Right.
But yeah.
So did you ever go back up to Michigan and do any prospecting?
I've done a little bit, but when I'm there, I mostly focus on my family.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And one of my really strict rules is, as much as gold prospecting is a passion of mine, my family's needs come first.
Right.
So, my mom and dad always have a to-do list when I show up at their place. They live on a lake in northern Michigan.
Okay.
They're in their 80s. So there's always a list of things they're hoping I'll help with.
Right.
Can you climb up this ladder? And because they don't climb ladders.
Well, let's hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. Right. So I've done a little bit on the shore of Lake Superior.
Okay, for some of that beach gold.
But when I say a little bit, I mean like 3 pans.
Oh, okay, that's real little bit. Yeah.
I did sample in the gravels on the lake where they live, but I didn't find anything there, which was
gotcha.
Because the lake they're on is the largest inland lake, meaning not one of the Great Lakes.
Right.
This inland lake in Michigan, and it's 110 or 130 feet deep.
Wow.
It's super deep. So you think, okay, the glaciers made this, maybe there will be some gold.
Right.
But most of my parents' property, I think, is fill.
Okay.
It was kind of marshy edge of the lake 100 years ago when they built the first cottage there.
Right.
And so it's fill dirt from God knows where.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, you never know.
I don't know.
But what other states have you went to prospect?
Oh, a bunch. So we talked about Utah. My nephew and his now wife live up in Washington.
Okay.
So at one point when they were high schoolers, I flew up with my wife to see them and brought a sluice that I gave them as a gift. One of the perks of being me and with the books and the 29,000 person Facebook group is I get free sluices sometimes.
Sure.
And so I brought him a sluice so we could go sluicing together, and then gave it to him as a gift. And so I've done Oregon and Washington. I've done California, both the Yuba River and dry washing down in the Mojave a little bit.
Okay.
That was one time my wife actually did some of the digging. That was fun. I haven't done Nevada, but I've done Arizona. Went to, Libby Creek, and found some pickers down there. That was a lot of fun. I definitely suggest, is that right? Is that Libby? The place near Prescott? Do any of you guys know?
Scott?
Near
Rob?
Prescott?
Well, they're down in Arizona.
Libby?
No, Libby's in Montana. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the wrong one. Oh, it's Lynx Creek. That's what it is.
Oh yeah,
Main
yeah.
Street.
That comes right out of that comes right out of Prescott.
Right. Yeah. My wife and I were visiting a couple that are family friends on her side, and I mentioned something about wanting to go up to Prescott to do a little panning, and he was like, "Oh, can we come?" So they joined us the next day, and mostly he and I did the digging. My wife and his wife did a little bit, but they did a certain amount of sitting around talking too, which is fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think probably where you was at was probably what they call Rose Bridge or something like that. And they actually cut the digging off from there.
No, we were in a city park where you're allowed to dig. So this gets back to Kevin, my expertise, right? Kevin's deal is a lot of towns will let you dig if you ask nice and you explain what you're doing.
Huh.
So we got to dig right in town where the creek feeds into like a little fishing pond or something like that.
I'll be down.
Yeah, that's Lynx Lake.
Well, okay. I don't know. I don't remember that. Anyway, so that checked the box. Although I'm planning to do. You can see back. Where is it? Right there. The handle of my Gold Monster 1000.
I was about to ask you if you did any metal detecting.
Yeah, I've recently got into it. That's a whole conversation. But anyway, so besides Western states, we've been up to Alaska and British Columbia and the Yukon. And then in the East, I've got to prospect in Georgia and Massachusetts as well.
Okay.
And found some nice little pickers in Northwest Massachusetts. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I met up with a couple of local guys. And, you know, I hope this doesn't offend them if they happen upon this video. But one of the things I kind of chuckled about was they would measure their success for the day, not by the weight of the gold they found, but how many pieces they found.
Okay.
Specs, and they're like, "Oh, I got 37 pieces today." And I'm like, I don't think that would tip the scales, brother.
Is that, okay, well, that's small pieces or pieces exactly. Big enough to count pieces?
And,
you know,
exactly.
I guess if I was getting pickers, I would count
that would be
pieces.
One thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was one time we were on this little tiny feeder stream that was literally as wide as my two hands, right?
Okay.
It's a tiny thing. So I'm running the smallest sluice I have, and the water flow is not really enough. So the sluice is not, the water's not flowing fast enough to keep the sand active within the riffles,
right,
around, which means that the little tiny specks were blowing through. But I got two pickers. So my count for the day was two.
You got two.
But they were pickers. And the guy downstream from me was in a better spot where the angle was right. And so he was catching the fines. And he's like, I got 23 pieces, and some of them escaped out of your sluice. And I'm like, yeah, they did. Pickers, bitches. I kept those. And of course, by weight, I had a lot more than he did, even though if he had 23 to my 2, right?
Right, sure. But pickers and fines are two different things.
Very much so, yeah. And of course, the pickers, I kept in a little, let me see if I can show you one. I had this little, I sell
pickers.
Gold, right?
Pickers are good, but fines pay the bills.
That's what they say.
So the fines go into rings for me. The pickers, once in a while, I'll put them in this.
Yeah, in some cases, sure.
One, right? Yeah. But this is also how I sell gold. So I'll put the flakes that are too big to feel good about melting down for a ring.
Put
them into these little display containers and put those in a thing like this.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then get them into a local store in tourist land here and sell them to the tourists.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That way, those big fat flakes don't get melted down into a ring and somebody can still appreciate them.
Right.
That's the idea.
Well, Kevin, how many do you want to buy?
What? Big fat flakes? You got big fat flakes, Scott?
I got some big fat flakes. Are
they from Colorado?
No, they're Arizona.
Yeah, no thanks. Part of the pitch to the tourists is that they're genuine Colorado gold flakes.
Right, they're local, sure.
Yeah.
So, see, mine wouldn't work because mine's more shiny.
I doubt that part because I do soak the gold in vinegar for a week before I put it in the display, so it looks all pretty,
all clean and shiny.
Mine shines like that out of the ground.
Arizona gold is pure, ain't it, Scott? I think
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Everybody claims they have the smallest gold, and everybody claims they have the purest gold.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of it anymore.
I gotta say Ohio's got the smallest gold.
No, Utah's got you beat.
Well,
no,
I can say something about the purest gold. There's a picture right behind my head right now.
Yeah,
that's not even in the sun.
I forget what the purity is of Ohio's.
How do I change it so I can let me change it so I can see all y'all? Let me see here.
Gallery,
I got that.
Yeah, gallery. Yeah.
Go up to view.
I use it all the time. I got. Hey, okay. So who was just talking about behind?
Scott was.
That was me.
That was Scott here. That was Scott, the one with the big blue pan behind him.
Right. Is that that's not really there behind you, is it? That's like a background you picked?
Yeah, that's a picture of mine.
Yeah,
there's some of his Arizona gold.
So if your gold doesn't drop through 125 mesh classifier, I don't want to hear about how small it is.
Oh,
exactly. We got plenty of that. I put it at mercury.
I don't need mercury. I can pan that. No problem.
Yep.
Let me see. I would say Ray's definitely drops through it. Ray's would drop through.
And Ray's is only like 18 karat.
Yeah, and it's a low carat though, right?
Generally, the smaller your gold flakes are, the richer it'll be, because the flakes floating around in the environment, it's getting wet, it's getting in sunshine, whatever, and the silver and the copper are weathering out of it. And so the smaller flake has more surface area and less inside, so to speak, to it, right? So you'll lose more of the copper and silver because it's essentially at or near the surface, whereas a larger flake will tend to be a little bit thicker as well. And so there's stuff inside that never gets exposed to the environment. So it'll be a lower carat. So you get some big fat flakes from up in Alaska somewhere, and they'll be like, yeah, this stuff's only 18 karat. You find something in Utah and it's, a gnat's dropping. What do we call it? Fly poop.
Fly poop, yeah.
How about we'll go smaller than a fly and we'll go with a gnat?
Gnat poop.
Exactly. I try to tell these guys all the time. I was like, go to any state around Utah. Any state around Utah, you're better off.
Oh, come on. It's Utah.
That could be true, but I found a picker in Ogden. I found 2 pickers, maybe 3 down by Moab. They're out there.
I found one in the high Uintas.
There you go. Yeah, you just got to work for it. Absolutely. But, anyway, it's the same in Colorado, right? People are like, oh, there's no nuggets here. Well, mostly true.
Mostly.
I have a small nugget that I dug in the wild in Colorado. There's a few out there. Mostly we're talking larger flakes, though, aren't we? And we're excited for those.
Those are always sweet. Yeah.
Those are nuggets.
Yeah. That's an interesting topic. I was in Alaska at the AKAU Golden Resort place outside of Nome. And it was my first experience detecting for gold, right? So I bought this Gold Monster 1000 you see behind me, the handle of it sticking up there, a year before the trip, and practiced with it mostly in campgrounds, in Forest Service campgrounds. So I picked up a lot of little bits of stuff people left at campgrounds. Folks must do a lot of reloading at campgrounds because I found a lot of birdshot, and I can't imagine they're actually shooting a birdshot that lands in a campground, right? Campsite, but they must be reloading or something. Anyway, I practiced and practiced. We get up to the AKAU resort, and we're detecting. And in the course of the week, I probably spent about half my time detecting, and I got 10 or 12 little nuggets.
Right.
Now, the smallest of those nuggets is a flake, and it ain't a big flake. It might be a 20 mesh flake, somewhere in that range. And I brought that one back and I showed it to this one guy who was pretty friendly, and he was super experienced. He spends 150 days a year minimum detecting. And I said, well, I found this little flake in such and such area where he'd spent some time as well. And he says, bite your tongue. That's a nugget. And I said, no, it's a little flake. And he says, if you found it with your detector, it's a nugget. I'm like, hey, you're the expert. I'm just the noob at this, right? But I'll tell you boys, it's a flake. It's lit. Now, the nice thing is it means my Gold Monster 1000 found this little flake, right?
Sure.
And it was, it was 2 or 3 inches underground. It wasn't super deep, of course. The Gold Monsters don't go that deep. But I was pretty thrilled to find it, in part because it was an exact area he had already gone over.
Oh,
And, this is the hardcore pro of a guy. And I'm coming in behind him to see if there's anything left. Cause it was like, I had 15 minutes to wait before my buddy was ready. And I'm just like, well, I'm just going to detect where I am. And I got I wonder what he missed. That's weird.
mm-hmm.
So got lucky and got one that he missed. It was pretty cool, but it was a very fun trip. AKAU is not a bargain. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So for a lot of guys, it's a once in a lifetime experience to go up to Alaska. If you can find the cash, it's an amazing experience. They do an incredible job. The chef is amazing. You're sleeping in like real cabins, not some wonky hooch like the GPA guys used to have, bag and whatnot. All your firewood. No, these things are heated. It's an actual bed. They have hot showers.
Man,
that's how much the guys didn't use them. I got to the point where I had a hot shower every night before bed, so I went to bed clean.
Right.
And I never had to stand in line once for a shower.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but they also only have like I don't know. When I was there, I think there was 14 or 16 people there.
Okay.
So it's not a crowd.
Right.
It was a ton of fun though, ripping around in the ATVs, seeing the muskox, and digging. A lot of the areas there, they hydraulicked. They used water to hydraulic them out.
Right.
And the hydraulic, of course, you have less water pressure when you're away from the source of the water, right? So as you go away from it, their pressure drops, and so they're less efficient. And so you dig the edge of the area, the top, outside kind of edges, and you're still on virgin material because they didn't have the water pressure to wash that down.
Right.
And so, there was one area where, in 2 hours I had like 4 nuggets.
Wow.
Because our guide said, if you get a hit with your detector, don't try to separate it. The usual way where you put half in your hand and half in the scoop, and you wave the scoop over and you dump one of them and split it again. Don't do that. Just take a shovelful and throw it in your gold pan, because you're going to get whatever triggered your detector and a bunch of fines, and it'll be faster since there's a creek 5 steps away.
Right.
Faster than the whole usual process you do when you're in a dry place.
That's a good idea.
Well, it is a good idea, but you know how many of the 8 of us that were on that little excursion actually grabbed a gold pen and did what he told us to do?
I
was the only one.
Oh, really? Everybody else is still doing it the old school way.
Right. I was the only one going old school. Yeah.
Wow.
The
That's
rest
cool.
So detector oriented.
Right.
Right. That they just couldn't put their detector down and pick up a gold pan. I think some of them, honestly, don't know how to gold pan.
That could be the case.
Just detectorists, right?
Right.
And they chase the gold in Arizona, in Nevada, in Alaska, whatever. But they don't really gold pan,
No.
So,
they just, like you said, they're just nugget shooting. That's what they're doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a ton of fun. It really was. It was a great week.
That'd be a great trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
But as I said, it might be a one-time thing for me because it was pricey.
So where would be your dream place to go prospecting and metal detecting?
A dream place with a detector would be Australia, right?
Definitely, right?
Whether it's the Oregon gold fields in the south or somewhere out west, that would be just amazing, without a doubt.
All right.
More realistically, I think in April I'm going to go with 3 other guys and one of the 3 guys' wives as well. So there'll be 5 of us swinging detectors, either to Nevada or Western Arizona. I'm not sure yet. We're still kind of working on some of those details.
Yeah, Nevada would be cool.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat earlier said, and when was his trip to South Africa?
Oh, yeah. I went to South Africa with my son and his wife, and my wife, of course, as well. Just a year ago, November. The daughter-in-law has a friend that lives in Cape Town.
Okay.
So inside scoop on everything. And, we were able to do things like go on safari for a fraction of the price that normal tourists do, because we didn't have to hire a tour agent or pay US prices for safari in South Africa. We paid South African prices, like locals deals, right? It was amazing. But one of the things we did was go to the town of Pilgrim's Rest. which was the beginning of the gold rush in South Africa. This little town was where the first placer deposits were discovered that started what became the South African gold industry. The entire industry started right there. And so we went there and saw the little creek where the first discoveries were made. And it's kind of a crazy story. We were able to do one pan in the creek, but we weren't allowed to take any gold with us because a gang from Mozambique had taken over the creek.
Wow.
Because the price of gold is up so much.
Right. Yeah.
They came in with guns, and they had people sitting under a tree on the hill with a gun, and they had guys down there carrying buckets of dirt from bench deposits down to the creek and panning it out. They're virgin bench deposits, right?
Wow.
Gold. And the tour guide that we were with, because he's telling us about the history and stuff, he had an agreement with them that we could go down there and do a pan, so that we'd done it and we'd seen South African gold in our pan. But he says we have to very visibly dump that pan out water when we're done. So the guy on the hill with the gun can see that we're not taking the gold that those guys have called dibs on.
Wow. How big of gold was it in your pan?
It was decent sized flakes, but we were just panning what was in the creek.
Right.
The bench deposits where the good stuff was. Right. Yeah. It was kind of crazy though. My wife was like, "Oh my God," and at one point, this guy from Mozambique, he walked right by next to us, didn't even acknowledge we were there. He's on his cell phone, yakking away, right? Talking to the boss back in Mozambique. And after we got out of the creek area and we're back up in the ghost town area, our guide says, "Did you notice he had a cell phone?" And we're like, "Well, yeah." And he says, "Did you notice anybody else there with one?" "No." And he says, "Yeah, that's because they're not allowed to have one. They're essentially enslaved."
Oh, the digger guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They're all young men and they're just working hard digging. And we're not sure how much they're getting paid or what's really up with that. But it was not a good situation. So it was
I have no desires to go there.
No, it was awesome, and I'm glad I did it. But it was one of the sketchier things I've done.
It's too sketch for me.
And I would not go back. Agreed. Yeah. Now,
So,
some locals, and they're like, once in a while the government will send in a bunch of troops and they'll drive these people out.
Right.
And for a while it's fine. And we can let the tourists actually gold pan. But right now is not one of those times.
I'll be darned. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's why Australia. I just go to Australia and just call it a day.
Of course, the upside of South Africa is that they didn't have the scary snakes that you have in Australia.
Yeah. But they got other scary things in Africa.
The most dangerous thing on any prospecting trip is fellow humans, right?
Yeah.
That's its own whole conversation. Well, I don't know that my buddy managed to get in.
No, he did not.
He had a question about mining claims, and I thought that would be a fun thing to talk.
He never got in the chat room neither. We could ask it in there.
Yeah, he didn't.
No, I didn't see him.
You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to call him and just let him talk on speakerphone.
Yeah, just let him ask the question on speakerphone. Yeah. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. You're on speakerphone, and that means they can hear you on the call.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you just ask your question, and then, well, first of all, introduce yourself real briefly, just so we can make sure the audio is working okay.
All right. My name's Dave Mullen. I'm calling in about information on purchasing a mining claim.
All right. And what's your question, Dave?
I've seen a lot of claims online, either on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And my concern is, how do you know they're real? How do you know you're not going to get scammed? And do you have an opportunity to go look at it and try to test it before you would purchase one?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Are you able to listen to the live YouTube stream, Dave?
Let me try it.
Okay.
The phone's about dead.
Well, no.
Log into it and listen to
Okay.
it.
I mean, you can stay on this way and just listen if you want to.
Okay, let's do it that way.
Okay, let's do that. So, yes, there are a lot of claims available for on eBay and other places like that. And I'll be interested to see what the other people on the call here have to say. But my experience has been that. Oh, hang on a second. I'm gonna take you off speakerphone, so you're just hearing. My experience from working with people that have purchased those kind of claims is, first of all, a lot of them are garbage. There are guys who will just be a keyboard warrior and file claim after claim in an area and then put them up for sale. So they will sometimes be honest and tell you there's no markers on this claim. You're going to have to do that yourself. I haven't tested this. So my first thing is, to me, buying a claim is like buying a used car. You would never buy a used car without test driving it. And if you're smart and you're not a mechanic, then take it to a mechanic you trust and have them look, right? Pay him $100 or whatever to just give it a once over and see what's up. And so I tell people, don't you ever buy a mining claim based on what the seller tells you.
Right.
Ever. Right. If they won't let you sample it, walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because it's a lemon, baby. And they just don't want to say that out loud. Right? So that's the first thing. Right. There are a few claims out that are worthwhile. People often ask me, which website do I go to or which Facebook group to find the good claims? There's no good answer for that I found, frankly. No good answer at all. The best way to find a mining claim, in my experience, is to join a club, get to know some of the really old guys who maybe aren't getting out anymore but still own one. And then you end up buying a claim from somebody who's 80 years old and doesn't go out and dig anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's one very smart way to do it. The other way, that's frankly what I've done, is sample an area in the non-claimable spots, figure out there's interestingly good gold, and then look at the spots that are claimable but are not claimed yet in that exact area. Right? That's how I found both of my claims, was by finding an area that was of interest. And then, you go to the county, you get the maps of the existing claims, and you kind of plot them out on a topo map, and you figure out where there's some unclaimed land, and you go sample it. Okay. And that's worked out really well for me, in both cases. I used to have a claim that was in Gilpin County, on the north edge of Gilpin County, and a lot of our listeners won't understand where that is, but suffice it to say that it was almost a 2-hour drive on curvy mountain roads to get to the claim. So I'm spending 4 hours of my prospecting day driving on the kind of roads where you have to pay attention the whole time or you're going to roll your car off a cliff.
Oh, geez.
Right? So it's hard work getting there, right? And in 2019, my wife and I decided that we were going to buy a place in Summit County here in Silverthorne, where I live. Because we'd been saying, well, we're not sure where we want to live, so let's just stay in this apartment for a while. And so we settled in on, this is where we want to be. And so I sold the claim in the spring and summer of 2019 as we were shopping for a house. And, so I got a few $1,000s for the claim, and that was nice financially at that moment when you're buying a house. But then I got serious about finding a claim right here near home and ended up with one that's, I think it's an 11 or 12 mile drive from my house.
That's nice.
So it's a very sweet deal. And it's a very easy drive on a state highway that's just cruising along next to the river, right? So a beautiful country. The drive is gorgeous through the canyon and stuff, but it's just a super easy drive. So there are articles on my website, findinggoldencolorado.com. There's an article about how to buy a claim the smart way, and also about how to find your own claim. And I encourage you to go take a look at those articles. If you use the search bar on the top of the findinggoldencolorado.com website, you can just do a search on buy a claim, and you'll find that article really quick. There's about 100 articles on the website, so that might be a smart way to do it.
That sounds like the smartest way.
Yeah, you really have to be careful. There's a lot of stuff where, like, one of my buddies bought a claim that was on a famous gold-bearing Tarryall Creek. There was quite the gold rush there in the spring of 1860, and there was a series of a half a dozen or so claims put up for sale by this guy in New York City who said, I have the expertise to research claimable land, and so I've identified and filed these claims. They're available for $1,000 each. Now, the guy spent a couple hundred or so just on filing fees. So 1,000 doesn't seem abusive, even though he tells you right up front, I haven't sampled it and there aren't markers on it, but I will not give you the exact coordinates until you buy it.
Yeah.
So my buddy buys this thing, and then he reaches out to me and he's like, will you help me sample it? Which is what he should have done before he bought it.
Yes.
So he gives me the GPS coordinates and I look it up online and I says, oh, and I won't say his name, but I said, oh, buddy, I have bad news. You are upstream of all of the hard rock mines in that area. And what happens when you're upstream of where the hard rock deposits are? There's no gold, right? Because the hard rock is eroding away, washing down into the stream. Well, if you're upstream of the point where that's happening,
yeah,
you're not going to find any
it's
gold.
going downstream.
And another thing, my buddy Ed and I wanted to bring up is if you do sample a claim where they let you go there and sample it, if they tell you where to dig, run away.
Yeah, no, I'll look over here. Don't look where they tell you to look.
You say thanks for the tip, but I'm also going to try over there and over there and over there. That rock right there too.
Yeah, but what's funny is here in Arizona, what he was just describing, we call them paper miners.
Yes.
They go in after September 1st. If there's a claim drop, they buy it up. They want to sell it to you for $5,000. They've never been on it. They don't even know where it's at.
That's right.
Yeah, they just buy them and sell them, right? That's all they do.
Yeah.
Paper miners.
Yeah. There was one claim near me that had been held by the same guy for 27 years. And when it got dropped, I thought, well, I should at least go sample it. There was barely any gold at all.
Wow.
I walked away. So why did he hold it for 27 years? So he could tell his buddies, I own a gold mine.
I have a mining claim.
Exactly right. Yeah, it was just terrible. I mean, the gold was just so minimal. And again, for that same reason, he was downstream from one mine, but he was upstream from a bunch more. So there just wasn't much that had eroded into the creek at that point.
Right.
And it was one of these little tiny creeks where the water flow is not going to sort the gold very well. It's not going to move things around very well, So you really do have to be on guard, or you're going to.
I would never buy anything like that off of Facebook Marketplace or any of them things, like you said.
Wait a minute, Tim.
What?
That's where I sold my last claim, was on Facebook.
Well, that's where you sold your price.
So somebody got lucky, right?
Yeah.
With you.
And actually, believe it or not, I believe he dropped it this last year.
Well, maybe you should find
he never stepped foot on it.
Huh. I just wouldn't. I just don't trust it.
No, and you should.
I don't know. That's just me.
The reality is, why would I pay somebody thousands of dollars when I can do the research myself?
Yeah.
I can do the sampling myself, and I'll pay the $200 or whatever it is now, and bam, I have a claim. Right?
Yeah, and go to the claims thing and file it yourself and all that.
Right, exactly. And then you do the small miners waiver, and it costs you with this county fee and the state BLM fee, I think I'm paying about $30 a year to keep my claim.
Where's looking for a claim at? What state?
Pardon?
What state is your buddy in?
Oh, Colorado.
Okay.
That's why he was reaching out to me, right? Yeah.
Colorado, Danny.
Yeah, and the truth is, Dave, I think he's still listening. You still listening, Dave? Yeah. The truth is, we should talk offline about your area of interest, and maybe I can give you some tips on where to, gather the existing maps and see where the gaps are, and we can figure this stuff out. So let's talk one of these days soon, and we'll see what we can figure out. One of my buddies had a claim. A normal claim is 20 acres, which if it's more or less lined up with the creek is about a quarter mile of creek. Well, his claim was maybe 100 yards, not even a fraction of a quarter of a mile, hardly, right? But what it was people had claimed like this chunk, this quarter mile, and this one, and then the next one over was little, and then there was an unclaimable area.
Right.
But he found that little gap by laying the maps that you can get at the county for $1 or whatever they charge you to photocopy the map. He laid those out on the topo and realized there was still a gap.
Oh, okay.
Small, but it's a really nice spot. The gold is good. You can dredge there, everything else.
Oh, nice.
He grabbed it. And when he was done with that, because he retired from prospecting when he got older, he sold that claim for $10,000.
Oh, nice.
Which is, in my mind, that's a decent amount of money.
Oh, sure.
Because me, and I don't want anybody grousing that I gave him a bad deal. I figured that the claim I sold in Gilpin County was worth about $5,000. I sold it for $3,000 because I thought it's not worth it to squeeze every penny out of a fellow prospector.
Right.
And I want people to say, wow, Kevin gave me an amazing deal.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like with the books, people have said, you should charge twice as much. These books are amazing. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to.
Right. Now, how much are the books?
They're $20 each if you buy the paperback.
Okay.
Remember, we said the Kindle is $9.99.
Right. Right.
I also have, just because I wanted it, you can buy a hardcover edition.
Oh, okay.
30-something bucks.
Sure. Hardcover is always more.
I sell about 5 a year. But I wanted to be able to have the hardcover edition, baby. So I put in the effort to set it up with the printer to be able to do it. You know?
Yeah, it's worth that a little bit extra, I think, for a hardcover.
They're cool. It's like a trophy.
They are. They're. I just think they last longer.
Oh, they last longer. And the quality of paper is even a little different. It's interesting. They put a higher quality paper in the hardcover book.
Just a better version, I think, the hard copies. I just like them better. Always have. Yeah. If I have a book, which I don't have many.
And, you know, I've had people say, well, I'm not a reader. Do you have an audiobook? And I'm like, this is not a book you read, right? I mean, you find the site.
It's like a guide.
Yeah, it's like a guide. You know, this is like if you've ever bought a hiking book where you're not going to read the hiking book. You're like, well, I'm going to be on Plateau Creek, and here's got a write-up about Plateau Creek.
Right.
So, you know, what you've actually got here. I mean, let me show you guys. So here's Plateau Creek that I just randomly opened to. There's an intro paragraph, and then on the next page, we've got gold finding tips. We've got how to get there, who the land manager is, and the information about the boundaries and what's nearby.
Right.
And you're done.
Right.
You're
See?
paragraphs and paragraphs of information here.
Yeah.
It's very to the point. Right.
So more or less, you got a hardback claims mining or a claims book.
It's like a claim guide, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Claims guide.
A lot of guys who are newer to the gold prospecting game will be like, well, I want to get a claim. And I end up asking them why. They're like, well, I want a place I can camp and dig with my kids. I'm like, I got a book full of those. That's $26 and there's no extra paperwork every year.
Yeah.
I mean, a ton of these places are either at campgrounds or it's just down the road from a campground. And I tell you where the campground is that you can camp at when you're wanting to dig that area.
All right.
I wanted this to be something you could use to plan a vacation. Right. And a lot of guys that are in neighboring states to the east of here. So think Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, even Illinois, you know, that kind of thing. They will buy this book and sit down and plan their trip with it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I'm going to go here and then here and here. And so when I realized that was happening, I added something to the book. It's been in here for years now, but I added a map that's just shows the interstates. You see I-70 and I-25 on there.
Yeah.
And it shows the towns and the roads that are important to get from point to point. And each of those ovals is one of the chapters.
Oh, okay.
You see Denver there, where you see the city of Denver and then the letter A. That's
right.
chapter A.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Next to it is Boulder, the little circle, and B.
Right.
And you know, it goes all the way. Is this upside down? I'm failing the IQ test.
Yeah. I think it's upside down.
Is it upside down?
Now it is. Yeah.
I don't know. There we go. Okay. So anyway, you get all the way down to you know, letters further in the alphabet. You get to Q,
right,
and R and S and T, right? So anyway, with that kind of a map, it's enough to give you some sense of where everything is in relation to each other.
Yeah, I like that way.
Right.
Like you said, if you're getting ready to take a trip, or you know, that would be a great guide to have for that.
Yeah.
It really would
be on vacation in this part of the state.
You can plan around it.
You're there.
Yeah, you could plan around it. Right.
Exactly.
That's what's cool. And it's like you said, you tell them the campgrounds and everything. So that's
absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty much all the info you need right there, all in that one book.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the things I've gotten a kick out of is calling campgrounds that are private and RV parks that are private that are on some of these gold-bearing rivers and asking them, do you let people who are staying at your campground or RV park prospect in the river? Because I've already looked at the county assessor's map and I know that they own the riverbed.
Right.
I've gone and looked and they're like, well, sure, as long as they're staying here. I mean, then they're welcome on the property and yeah, they can do that. I've never heard of somebody doing it. I'm like, well, you might now because I'm going to put it in the book and hopefully some people are going to come visit and stay with y'all and help you out on your business side.
Sure.
And dig some gold, right?
Yeah, it helps both sides. Yeah, it does. That's pretty cool.
One of those sites we stayed at, that campground, when we were traveling with our trailer to do the book research for the first book.
Uh-huh.
And it was the spot where I got a 0.5 gram in a a few hours and said, honey, I want to stay an extra day. Now,
but a lot of people think, excuse me, that it's at a campground. It's been worked to death, but like you said, half of them places, they're like, I've never seen nobody do that here.
Right. Exactly.
So that's right. Why don't.
Yeah, but if you got a campground that he actually introduces panning, they utilize that for business.
Right.
If you're just panning, you can't tear the whole creek up.
No,
that's not gonna happen.
Right. It's never going to happen. Yeah. But
these campgrounds are on rivers. So, even if you came in there with 10 guys and dug a whole bunch, the next spring when the snow melts, it's all going to reset.
It's all gone. Yeah.
Stuff downstream,
Yep. You never know they was even there.
Well, yeah. What I can tell you is the hole I dug when I was there, where I was getting such amazing gold, I covered it up so you'd never know I was there. If you find it on your own, that's great. But,
if you find it again, it'd be great.
You can find it right off the hole, because I smoothed it out and I sprinkled some leaves on top.
See, here in Arizona, we got everybody's, like, all the people prospect. Fill back in your holes. Myself, we dig holes so big, there's nothing to put back in the hole that would make a difference.
Yeah.
And when I dredge, I'm like, dude, we get one flash flood. You're not even tell I'm there.
No,
it's gone. It's instantly.
In the riverbed, you don't need to fill things in my opinion. If you're up on a hillside, filling it in can be important to prevent erosion problems. But
you got to if you're on a hillside, you shouldn't be there. You got to be in the creek banks on high water mark.
That's all in regulation state per state, and that varies.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah. And even in Arizona, there's places where you can dig a big dry wash hole in the desert someplace. And what I would say is, at that point, no, you can't fill it back in. But what I would do is change the slope of the edges of your hole, so any water that gets in there when there is a rainstorm washes out without creating an erosion event, right? So create a gentle slope on the downhill side of your hole, so any water that lands in there flows out instead of building up, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that part.
But here in Colorado, that's a lot more important, so we get a lot more water, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody digs a hole in a bank, and there are places you're allowed to dig above the high water mark, then, what I would teach them is the downhill edge of your hole, you want to remove the material there. So so the bottom of the hole becomes the slope of the hill, instead of having a wall that would hold water in the hole, right? Because if you hold water in the hole, it builds up, it soaks into the ground right there. And then the ground just downhill from the hole gets oversaturated with water, and you get like a little mudslide, landslide event. And
that makes sense.
If you tell a Forest Service ranger that you're going to create a mudslide into the river, they are not going to be happy. But all it takes is remove that lip on the bottom edge of the hole, right? Smooth that down, and then the water will flow down off the hillside like it's supposed to, and you won't have a problem. It's simple. And no, you don't have to backfill the hole. What you do is you just resculpt it a little bit.
Gotcha.
It's like guys on the Gold Rush TV show. They don't usually talk about the reclamation.
Never.
They do it. There was one season back in like season 4. At the end of the season, they probably needed a little more content, and so they had a conversation about how at the end of the season, when everything's freezing up, so they can't run Big Red or whatever anymore. They take their excavators and other heavy equipment. I call it the big yellow machines, and they push things around so that the animals don't get stuck in the holes they dug.
Right.
And they talked about how in the Yukon, in the area where they've been digging, the Yukon government wants more moose habitat. So the moose like a hole that's 2 or 3 feet deep in water, and they like a certain angle of slope coming out of that hole so that they can walk in and out with their juvenile moose that's not going to get stuck in the hole.
Right.
When they're done with an area, they don't backfill it. They sculpt the edge to be the right slope so that the moose the moose mama and the moose baby can go in there and munch on the stuff that's going to grow in that in their dig site after it fills up with water.
Yeah, we always say they need to show more of the reclamation side.
I really wish they did. It makes sense. You know, here in Colorado, we've got one really huge hard rock open pit mine. And I mean, the pit is, well, they actually have 2 pits that are both about 3/4 of a mile across. They're big. And there's a view site. So you can drive right up there and look down and watch the big machines driving around. And, you know, it's fun to do. People see these huge piles of rock sitting next to the mine pit, and they think, what a mess they're leaving. Oh, sweetie, my dear summer child, you do not understand at all. So that, I mean, I've actually had the opportunity to talk with the engineers at the mine because I used to work in the mining industry. And so I got a nice chat with a couple of the engineers at the Cripple Creek and Victor mine, which is the one I'm talking about. And, you know, we did this driving tour and I'm asking them extra questions on the side kind of thing, right? And he says, okay, so you see that pile over there. That pile, when this part of the pit is done, that pile gets shoved back in. That's how we backfill it, right? And then if you look over the hill, down there you see a little pile in the corner with some daisies growing on it. That's the topsoil that we scraped off before we started the pit. So part of that going to go on top. And he said,
that's called reclamation.
Yeah, that's the reclamation. And the state requires that when they submit their plan of operation, they have to put money in like a security deposit of a sort into an escrow account. And that money sits there until the reclamation's been done, and then they get it back. But if they walk away, that means that that money, of course, goes to the state Department of Reclamation, and they hire a local contractor to come in there with a bunch of guys and a bunch of heavy equipment, and they'll backfill it themselves.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but okay, that's the plan.
No, they do it. In real life, they do it. Okay. So what the engineer told me is the cool part is what they figured out is if they use their own staff and their own equipment to reclaim areas as they finish them. So you think about, here's the hole they're digging right now. Over time, they're going to go this way, but it also means that this part's done. So it's backfill over here, right?
Yeah.
So it's more cost effective for them to do it because let's say as you go this way, you're removing some waste rock, right? Some overburden. What do you do with the overburden? Put it over there, right? You know
what? That's why I always That's why I always said a floating dredge was the best thing ever.
Oh, absolutely. As you're working upstream, you're backfilling your own hole. It's
exactly.
Perfect. I do the same thing on my claim, even though I don't dredge very much. Anyway, the point is that the engineer figured out they could do the reclamation for about a half the cost of the bond.
Sure.
What he said to me is, so when we're done at the very end and we do the final reclamation, we're going to make a profit on it because they have, I think, $180-something million was what he told me that is sitting in this escrow account.
Wow, that's crazy.
Our worst case is $120 million to do the job. So we'll make a $60 million profit, 20 years from now when the mine's finished or whatever, But he showed me some of the areas where they'd actually done the reclamation, and you would not know there used to be a pit there when they're done.
Wow.
Right.
That's cool, though. That's what I wish they'd show more of.
Yeah. There's a lot of quirks to it. I won't bore you guys with.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and we'll wrap it up anyway.
Yes.
Hang on, Jim. Here, just to tell you, here in Arizona, they got a thing that if you're going to do anything over a certain amount, you have to have a poo.
Yes.
You have to have $1 million bond, I think, and
$1 million.
And reclamation. But they tell you it's got to look as good as when you showed up or better.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stuff here in Arizona that goes the same way. That's the way I don't dig with a backhoe. We still dig by hand, but we move a lot of dirt.
Yep. But never more than 5 acres worth of impact at a time.
Exactly. Right there. You got the clue.
Yeah. The good news is in Colorado, when you turn in your plan of operation, your POO, they estimate based on that what it will cost at the worst possible. If you fall over dead at the worst possible moment, what's it going to cost us to repair it, to clean things up and replant trees or whatever you're doing? And that's what they charge you. So I've had friends who had to put, $2,000 or 1,800 even. I mean, they get down to the hundreds of precision on how much you have to put into the escrow account. Wow. It can be very modest if what you're doing is small, right? So Colorado is very sensible about it. We don't have any regulation at the state level on dredges up to 4-inch nozzles.
That's cool.
Above 4-inch, you need a state permit, but 4-inch or below, you do not. You still have to talk to the ranger district if you're in a Forest Service area, because if you're going to dredge a small creek, they might say, we want to limit your dredge size to 2-inch or 3-inch because this creek's so small.
Right.
But you know what? See, that bugs me because dredging holes make fish habitat, period.
Yeah, a lot of these creeks don't have fish in them. They're more worried about the banks eroding in if you dredge too wide is what it really is. But to your point, my first claim, they told me when I just talked to the ranger without a POO or even an NOI, I says, what about dredging? He says, well, if you're running a 2 or 2.5 dredge, I don't care about it. You just do what you want. But if you get bigger than 2.5, we should have a conversation. So after I sold the claim, the guy who bought it from me let one of his buddies bring a 3-inch dredge in, and the ranger happened by. And the ranger looked at it and said, yeah, that looks fine. Well, no, okay, fair enough. Yeah, they're pretty easy. Where I am on the Blue River, the river's big enough that nobody sweats it. As long as I don't dig into the bank and cause problems with trees. Yeah. It's Forest Service land. So trees are a religious experience for them. If you mess with a tree, you're going to have a conversation with somebody, right?
Sure.
But as long as I don't do that, they don't really care. And you're absolutely right, of course, that, just like with the dredging you're doing, the river backfills. One of my buddies brought a dredge in to one of the quietest spots on the river where it's just a gentle eddy. And even at that, within a couple of years, it was all the way backfilled by the river, right? So it's just not an issue.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And like we always said, it creates more habitat.
It does. The fishermen like it, right? Because those potholes are places that fish will hang out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right. Well,
Kevin, Kevin, it's getting late for our East Coast hosts here, and we'll get you back on again anytime you want. You got my contact information, so
yeah. It sounds like you
buy a book. You'll love it.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Definitely.
And if you're out east of here somewhere, east of Colorado, it's a great place to come dig in the summertime. And if I can, I'd love to join you.
Sounds good, buddy. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it, and we'd love to have you again. Sounds like there's still a whole lot more that we can cover.
So hopefully next time I'm not working and I won't miss part of it. So
that's right.
Oh, there you go.
Kevin, take care, buddy.
It was a lot of fun, guys.
Thank you.
Do reach out. Absolutely.
See you, brother. Be good.
Take care.
Right. Yep.
Good night. Dennis, you were great.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out Flash in Your Pan Tuesday night Hangout Live. It says he's having open mic again, open line, but he just had one, so I'm not sure if he hasn't updated that. But
okay.
This was my weekend to work, so
gotcha. We didn't.
It's always fun to go to open mic night on somebody else's radio show
and cause havoc over there.
I didn't say havoc. I just thought it would be. You could have fun.
I don't know if he read it or not, but
what, Dan?
I'd be there as soon as I got home from work.
Yeah, I told him.
Okay.
Yeah. Still didn't know what time you'd make it. Yeah, you guys should make sure you go into Ed's open mic night.
Heck yeah.
Be sure.
Oh, don't forget.
And P.S. It's on YouTube too. So
yeah,
that's right.
Don't forget, if you're in the Southwest, the second weekend of February, that's Valentine's Day weekend. The Courtside Gold Show will be going on.
Gold Show.
$5 for 3 days.
Are you going, Rob? You guys going?
We're still in the works on that.
No, it's still in the planning stages.
Yeah, I heard that Sunday we might have to be somewhere else. So
okay, well, let us know. I'm sure you guys will.
Dude, if that's NASCAR Sunday, you're screwed.
Ain't no.
I mean, if we go up Friday, Saturday, hey, that's great. But
Gotcha. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody.
Oh, by the way, Tim.
Yeah.
Daytona won't be on the show.
Okay.
Just telling you.
Just let me know when Daytona is.
It's the Sunday where the cars are going around the track.
Left turn.
Yeah, left turn. That don't tell me much. That's every Sunday, ain't it? Don't they go around the track every Sunday?
No.
Well, let me know when Daytona is. It's
February something.
Just say Daytona week. I'll be like, got it.
It's February.
Well, Rob will be here. He'll know.
Yeah, I don't think Rob's gonna be here either.
Rob, one of you guys let me know it's Daytona week. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us tonight. We want to thank Kevin, our guest, for stopping by. A lot of information there, and I'm sure we'll have him back on and get some more. And be sure to check out his book if you're in that area, live in that area, or plan to visit that area. Pick up that book. It'd be a great guide to have to find us.
Did he say he could get it in bookstores and Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So click it, get it. You got your guide to some great places to find gold in Colorado. So, all right. Until next Sunday, thanks again. We're out of here. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Gold Digger. Tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.